What's up, everybody? It's your best pal Nick coming to you with another unboxing video. Now, I know on our last video we did open up Roxanne Perez for our Judgment Day Roxanne Perez. At least I call it Judgment Day Roxanne Perez. It's the Prodigy, so but it will be going into my Judgment Day area for my Judgment Day characters or wrestlers. So JD, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, OG ones like Carlito, and as well as Finn, Damien, and Rhea, of course. I don't have a Liv Morgan, so I definitely need to get a Liv Morgan in there, and I definitely don't have a Raquel Rodriguez, so I hope they make one for the future for us soon. But with that being said, I'm talking about for a first time in the line figure, which is really cool as well for this series. I'm talking about Series 126, El Grande Americano. We're going to have him unboxing good old El Grande Americano. If I could speak today, that'd be great, But with that being said, when this character came out, I was really worried how this was going to be received by fans, just because I know that it's crossing the line on so many different aspects for sure. But at the same time, it was very well received as a heel-based luchador. And obviously we knew that Chad Gable was El Grande Americano, but going through this ringer and putting himself through it, I thought was very interesting as well. And then seeing where the character can grow, where we have the original Grande Americano, and then we have the two other Americanos as well. So it's very interesting how it all came to be, but you know what? I'm surprised that it landed as well as it did, I guess. Especially with our time in place in history, I guess. I was kind of wondering if it would just blow back big time. But surprisingly, no. Surprisingly, they made it work, and kudos, you know what I mean? So anyway, with that being said, let's open up El Grande Americano. So first things first, from the Gulf of America, height 5'8", weighs 202 pounds, and his finisher is the flying headbutt, and career highlight, he is the speed champion. He was a speed champion. Which, if you have the last Andrade figure that they made for WWE, that comes with the speed title. So it's very interesting how that worked. But it's all good. Andrade is no longer with WWE, he's with AEW. So, and it's really interesting because he went AEW, WWE, and he said, cool, I'll go back to AEW. So that's a whole nother story, though, for a whole nother time. It says right here, after being blackballed by his enemies, the legendary luchador returned to the ring to bring honor and glory back to Lucha Libre at WrestleMania 41. Now, if you did watch any of El Grande Americano's matches, they're super fun. They're entertaining for sure. Definitely very, very good sportsmen when it comes to the wrestling aspect. Of course, it's Chad Gable. But then also, obviously, having those heel turns with the good old flying headbutt with the metal plate in the top of the Lucha Libre mask that he has. So, with that being said, we'll dive into more. I'm going to open this guy up and let's have some fun with it. Yeah. So. First off, we got two hands, two gripping hands, and we have two open hands for him like that, of course. So it doesn't look too bad there. His luchador mask is American made, which is the team that Chad Gable has made, or the faction Chad Gable made with Julius Creed as well. And then we also had Ivy Nile in there as well. And so I know there's one more I'm missing. Is it Julius? And totally forgot. So, with that being said, now that I had a brain fart, it's Julius and Brutus Creed, and then Ivy Nile, and then obviously Chad Gable was the main leader of American Made. Okay, guys, so now that we are all set up here, we have good old Chad Gable, El Grande Americano, set up with his American Made luchador mask, which is pretty awesome. Comes with two gripping hands, two open hands here. I'll say this, definitely looks like a Chad Gable figure, so can't go wrong with that there, of course. A little bit more tassels, got a lot more tassels, rubber-based tassels, of course. Now, I will say this, kind of like that Dominic Mysterio we reviewed a few weeks ago, or like a week ago. It has kind of like the tassel thing going on with the boot, so I think you can bring the tassels down. You can bring the tassels down, but they're pretty stuck up there, a little bit off on the sealant of it, I guess. I don't know if they're supposed to keep doing that, but it doesn't look bad. It's, could be better, a little bit. And then I'm also noticing, at least with my figure, on the thigh gap, there is a little bit of chipping for the thigh turn right here and the twist. So don't know what they were doing on that one, but it doesn't look bad. It's in the back of the figure, so it won't be too noticeable. Double jointed pinless knees as well as pinless elbows, so we don't have to worry about that there. Stands okay. Kind of took me a while to get it like that. He's a little stiff in his arm and stiff in his legs. A lot of these figures have that every once in a while. Sometimes if you put them in hot water for a good, boil like hot water for like a minute in the microwave, put it in there, it'll start to loosen up sometimes and all the above. And it doesn't destroy the figure as long as it's not in there for long. But pretty cool figure nonetheless. Fun one to have. The head sculpt looks great. The mask wasn't always like kind of fitting Chad Gable in my opinion, so it made him look interesting. But this will be a good one, especially now that we know that we're getting Lucha Libre, AAA Lucha Libre figures coming in for Mattel, and they're doing a cross collaboration with that. This will be a fun one to have to, go against, Ludwig Kaiser's version of a Grande Americano, as well as all the other AAA stars that they are collaborating with, like Psycho Clown, Dr. Wagner, El Hijo del Dr. Wagner, El Vikingo, as well as like Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, as well as amongst others, like La Parca and Psychosis and stuff like that. So, with that being said, if you see Chad Gable, or should I say El Grande Americano, on the shelves, are you going to snag him, being a first item in the line? What are your thoughts on it? I know he's no longer El Grande Americano. He did do his unmasking already, and now he's back as Chad Gable, which I have to say, congratulations to Chad Gable going up against Penta and winning the Intercontinental Championship as of a day ago for this video. So yeah, super excited for it nonetheless, but let us know in the comments what you're going to do. Are you going to pass up on it, wait for it to go down in price? Let us know in the comments. Educate me if I missed anything as well. And I just hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. And until next time, as always, peace.